Welcome to Ahmed's World, Supernatural, and today we embark on a journey into the chilling mysteries of Pluckley, the renowned haunted village of Kent. Join us as we uncover the ghostly tales that have made Pluckley a hotspot for paranormal enthusiasts and thrill-seekers alike. Explore the dark history of Kent, where clandestine activities and tragic events have given rise to spectral encounters that linger in the village's shadows. Witness first-hand accounts and unearth the eerie secrets that have earned Pluckley its reputation as a spectral hotspot. Pluckley, a charming village in Kent, holds a sinister reputation as one of the most haunted spots in the region, drawing in paranormal enthusiasts and ghost hunters hoping to witness the spectral inhabitants said to roam its streets. Situated atop the Quarry Hills, this quaint village has become a magnet for those seeking encounters with tormented souls. Kent's history of smuggling and illicit activities in the 18th and 19th centuries adds a layer of intrigue to Pluckley's ghostly lore. Gangs often utilized local churches and churchyards for secretive meetings, spawning tales of the supernatural to discourage prying eyes from their activities. Tragic events like house fires, deaths, and wartime experiences have also left their mark on Pluckley, potentially giving rise to spectral phenomena as a means of coping with trauma or preserving memories. These ghostly apparitions may serve as reminders of past tragedies or sources of hope for a brighter future. With numerous reports over the years, Pluckley's haunted reputation even earned it a mention in the Guinness Book of Records, solidifying its status as a hotbed of paranormal activity and a place where history and the supernatural intertwine. Now let's talk about the ghosts that haunted this village. The Red Lady. The ghost is alleged to be a member of the Deering family who for 500 years were the owners of the manor of Surrendon in the parish. She is said to be a dark-haired woman in a bright red gown. She is often seen searching St. Nicholas Church's graveyard for the unmarked grave of her child. Various accounts suggest she died in childbirth, with some claiming the child was stillborn or died shortly after birth. There are also rumors that the child was illegitimate and buried in an unmarked grave instead of the family vault. Despite numerous visits from people and paranormal groups to Pluckley, there are no recorded sightings of the Red Lady. The churchyard is open 24/7. The White Lady. Various versions of the story exist about the White Lady, a beautiful member of the Deering family who died young. To preserve her from decay, she was buried in multiple lead coffins within an oak coffin in the family vault at St. Nicholas Church, dressed in a fine white gown with a single red rose. She is said to appear floating in the churchyard on misty nights and has reportedly been seen manifesting as a mist within the chapel, even kneeling in prayer. The churchyard, situated on high ground, is prone to mists due to temperature fluctuations, which can create illusions resembling a human form. Sightings of white or gray ladies are often linked to such misty conditions. While reports suggest she has been seen in both the churchyard and the Deering chapel, details about these sightings are vague, lacking specific witness accounts or dates. Surrendon Deering was the Deering family's home from their arrival in Pluckley until 1928. Rebuilt in the early 17th century, it became an American embassy property and later a school before burning down in 1952, leaving only the service wing. In 1920, Mr. Walter Winans reportedly held a solitary vigil in the library on Christmas Eve with his hunting rifle. When the White Lady appeared, he allegedly shot at her, but the shot passed through her, and she vanished into a paneled wall, which was thought to connect to a tunnel leading to the church. This is the only credible account with witness details, but with the house now demolished and Winans deceased that same year, further exploration is not possible. The Monk of Greystones and the Lady of Rose Court. Greystones is said to be haunted by the shade of a reclusive cleric known as the Monk. While residents have denied any paranormal activity since 1954, local legend connects him to a phantom lady haunting Rose Court, known as the Tudor Lady. The Tudor Lady is believed to have lived during Tudor times, though it's unclear if a building existed then. Reports vary on her relationship with the monk, suggesting they were friends, lovers, or involved in a love triangle. He is said to die because of broken heart. She is said to have died by suicide after drinking a poison made from ivy and berries, supposedly while looking towards Greystones. The monk was last reportedly seen in 1971 by an unidentified couple or in 1989 by an American journalist who spotted a brown-robed figure. The Tudor Lady, linked to a Deering family member, is said to haunt both properties and can often be heard calling for her two dogs around the time of her death, between 4 o'clock and 5 p.m. While locals allege they hear her voice summoning her dogs, no specific individuals have been identified, and local historian Jackie Greby could not provide further insight. It is noted that she hasn't been heard in many years. The Highwayman, or otherwise known as the Screaming Man. Version 1. Robert Dubois was a highwayman near Pluckley who hid behind a tree at Fright Corner to surprise his victims. His spree ended when a guard, or rival thief, killed him with a spear, pinning him to the oak tree, which has since vanished. Despite this, Dubois's ghost is said to still haunt the corner, jumping out at passers-by as he did in life. Version 2, at Fright Corner, an unknown highwayman was killed with a sword after a fight broke out between him and lawmen, who pinned him to an oak tree. Legend has it that a ghostly reenactment of the deadly battle is played out on the spot of the murder, thought to date back to the 18th century. Version 3, a large spectral tree has been seen here, together with a highwayman pinned to it by several swords. Version 4, 1 is a highwayman who was pinned to a tree by a sword when his victim refused to stand and deliver. Version 5, at Frith Corner, now called Fright Corner, the ghost of a highwayman is said to appear. Legend has it that he was ambushed either by lawmen or rival criminals, and killed by a sword thrust that pinned him to a hollow tree, which no longer exists. His ghost is believed to reenact the fight that led to his death. Most highwayman tales date back to the 18th century, where punishment for capture was typically death by hanging. Highwaymen were tried at local assizes, gatherings of gentry and judges who traveled the area, with most trials occurring at Pennenden Heath in Maidstone, where records are available. No records exist for a highwayman tried in Pluckley, despite legends of a death at the location. Assuming some truth to the story, it's likely he was killed by a pistol shot or sword, as spears had not been used as weapons for centuries by that time. The Phantom Coach and Horses of Maltman's Hill. The primary tale surrounding Maltman's Hill is of a spectral coach and horses galloping toward the village center. However, the story becomes more intriguing when considering the absence of a specific location, like a corner or a tree, which often anchors other ghost stories. This lack of a defined site may influence the nature of the haunting. One October, a lady was driving home from babysitting her granddaughter just after midnight. At Pinnock's Crossroads, she could see a coach being pulled by horses with light coming from its windows. On another occasion, one local resident using the back roads to get home had the coach pass straight in front of him. In early November 1997, around 7 p.m. someone who was driving through Pluckley had the inside of their car filled with the sound of horses' hooves on cobbles. The road wasn't cobbled, but in the past it would have been. It seems the late 1990s was the last alleged sighting of this phantom. There are other reports and the number of horses varies between 2 and 4. It is also clear that the locations vary around the village, which also makes this phantom unique. The old gypsy woman, also known as the Watercress Lady. The original version has been slightly corrupted across the years, but essentially involves a local gypsy who sold watercress at Pinnock's Bridge. She used to smoke a pipe and died after accidentally setting herself alight with her pipe. The years she seems to have gained the name Abigail Nicholas. Reports of misty figures have emerged around Pinnock's Bridge, often linked to a gypsy woman. Historically, there were gypsy settlements in Kent, with nomadic Irish or Eastern European traders living in horse-drawn wagons, earning a living through honest trade. The story describes her smoking a pipe and selling watercress, which aligns with the area's streams that provided ideal conditions for this plant. While no specific time frame is mentioned, it's reasonable to speculate that such sightings may date back to the early 1900s, when these characters were common in the locality. The Miller. Legends surround the haunting of the now-removed windmill in Pluckley, where a black silhouette is often reported. This ghost appears near a house called the Pinnocks, typically before a thunderstorm, and is believed to be the spirit of the miller. One account suggests that the last resident of the mill, Dickie Buss, saw the black figure before the windmill burned down after a storm. Some sources even identify the ghost as Dickie Buss himself. One variation of the Pluckley windmill ghost story claims it is the spirit of a miller who hanged himself inside the mill. Legend has it that he appears before any terrible events in the village. Another version describes the ghost as searching for his lost love during the night. The only confirmed sighting is that of Richard Dickie Buss, yet despite reports of regular sightings, few claim to have seen the apparition. It's worth noting that many stories have not acknowledged that the mill has been gone for over 50 years, casting doubt on their credibility, including the claim of Dickie's sighting. The Colonel. The original version has remained consistent in the main and involves an unnamed man who traveled to Park Woods in Pluckley and committed suicide. He appears to wear a military uniform and has been christened the Colonel due to this. The Hanging Man. We will now look at the Hanging Man, or otherwise known as the Schoolmaster or the Ghost of Dicky Bus Lane. Version 1, a schoolmaster from Smarden, suspected of suicide after World War I, was found hanging weeks after he went missing by Richard Bus. Version 2, Henry Turf, headmaster of Pluckley School, was close friends with the headmaster from Smarden. When his friend went missing and was later found hanging from a tree, Turf, grief-stricken, took his life in the same manner days later. Turf's ghost has been seen hanging from that tree, described by a journalist as wearing a green blazer and striped trousers. Version 3, in the 1920s, children on their way to school discovered their teacher's body hanging from a tree. Though the reason for his suicide remains unknown, his ghost is said to swing from that branch on certain nights, particularly under a full moon. Version 4, Henry Turf, the headmaster of Smarden School, frequented Pluckley to meet Richard Bus. After Turf was found hanging from a tree, his ghost has been seen in the same spot, still hanging from the tree near the former mill. The Screaming Woods. More accurately known as Deering Woods, this area is said to echo with the screams of those who have become lost and perished over the years. Variations of the legend connect the screams to the Screaming Man of the Brickworks, which is not near the woods, and to a highwayman associated with a nearby location. As a publicly accessible site, Deering Woods has attracted numerous ghost hunters and thrill-seeking teenagers seeking an evening of frights. The Screaming Man. An accident at the old brickworks created another ghostly tale in Pluckley. A man died either from a clay wall collapse or by falling into a clay pit, and his screams are said to echo to this day. William George Simmons, born in 1903 and a local bricklayer, often shared stories of the eerie sights and sounds around the narrow lanes. He recounted the tragic tale of a young worker who lost his arm in the machinery, claiming that the young man's screams can still be heard at night, haunting the woods nearby. Pluckley, often hailed as the most haunted village in Kent, and even the UK, draws paranormal enthusiasts and thrill-seekers eager to encounter its many tormented souls. Nestled in the Quarry Hills, the village's ghostly tales are woven into its rich history of smuggling and tragic events, reflecting the social struggles of its past. With numerous sightings and a place in the Guinness Book of Records, Pluckley's spectral residents continue to captivate those seeking a glimpse into the unknown, reminding us that every ghost story carries whispers of history, hope, and memory. Thanks for watching Ahmed's World Supernatural. Don't forget to like and subscribe.